Kagalkar, the BJP has directly laid the blame on jihadis. There are also certain outfits that have been named by the BJP. Why is this allegation being made? Because yes, there have been Facebook posts of Praveen which have come to the fore where he supported Kanayalal or stood with Kanayalal, who was beheaded by the Udaipur butchers. But why the association with jihadis even before the investigation comes to a close?
Absolutely. It's not about just making an accusation or pointing a finger at the jihadi element. It's a matter of pattern that you start seeing in the last 6 to 8 years, especially since the Congress government started emboldening them, empowering them, and supporting them, both directly and indirectly. Indirectly, for instance, providing a strong fire cover, kind of cover up for a fire, and directly withdrawing all the cases against them for not just about one or two people, but hundreds and thousands of such jihadi elements were let go of the due process of law. Now the point is, this is at one level the pattern that you get to see in Karnataka, but beyond that, if you were to see what's happening all across the country, some elements very clear cut with a laid out plan start taking up issues, raking up issues, not just taking up, but raking up issues. You saw this happening in the case of hijab, right? Till now, in the last 4 months, it really broke up into the open. Things were fairly smooth. People weren't wearing hijab to the schools and colleges. They were there for studying. The girls wanted education, but suddenly out of nowhere, they start blowing an issue out of proportion, way up to the Gulf countries and beyond. It can't be just that one small village in Kundapur suddenly gets into the international radar out of nowhere. These are the kind of things, the patterns, the kinds of design, for want of a better word, the kind of a design that you get to sort of see in the implementation. Be it in the case of Nupur Sharma, be it in the case of Kanayalal, and the kind of n number of people, be it in Maharashtra, be it in Karnataka, be it in Tamil Nadu, the kind of an emboldening that's happening to them, on the one hand, by the people like the Congress, I mean, no two words about it, and the second, as the CM and HM rightly pointed out in Karnataka, this is the first step of action in terms of investigation. While Karnataka, as you have already seen, much to even the akrosh of our Karyakartas, has very, very steadfastly held on to the fact that we'll go for the due process of law. Investigations are on. The investigation at this point in time very clearly pointing to this pattern, and this definitely would be taken up as a primary source of line. Other line of investigation, if there were to be evidences coming up our way, I'm sure the cops will definitely consider that.
Right, because Chambi Puranik, there is a pattern to this. The previous RSS left, RSS PFI, BJP left, BJP PFI, they've been said the murder and counter murders. This was endemic to Kerala, but has this spilled over into Karnataka? Would you look at it as a political matter? Would you wait for the investigation? Or would you also turn around and say that this is because, or this is influenced by the rise of these radicals and this Sartan Sejuda calls?
In my view, the coastal Karnataka is very sensitive and prone for such explosive situations. Unfortunately, this barbaric killing of Praveen is something which is a continuation of several such killings. But I think both Congress and the ruling constitution BJP have to rise above this and see that it's nipped in the bud. Otherwise, since the coastal Karnataka, especially Dakshina Karnataka, is known for this kind of adjacent area, the Kerala border, there, Kasaragod and other areas. So people definitely, they can come from there and commit such horrible crimes and get away and all that. So my opinion is, there is a political kind of touch for this also. It's not purely based on the kind of opinions or the kind of views that are displayed here and there. So I think both Kerala and Karnataka government, police, they should join together and see that immediately the culprits are arrested and whatever the due process of law, that should be taken care of. But I agree with you that it is much more than the local issues or the kind of polarization of things and all that. The political parties have to be clear. Previous Congress government, it did not take action against them, and it cancelled all the cases against them by a cabinet resolution. Such high-level kind of wrong decisions certainly give kind of a wrong message to the groups which are militant, which are I think communally they are emotionally charged. So whenever such situations happen, innocent people are being not see today the anger you see there against their own party people. That itself shows that the leaders, the BJP leaders, have not learned lessons from this. I appreciate Chief Minister immediately calling DGP and telling him to take care of this. So a special task force should be kept there. Second, the constant kind of intelligence, whatever covering also it should be done. Because these people, only on the basis of media kind of exposure, they come and say many things on the platform and forget the follow-up action. So therefore, I think there is a big gap between big gap between the action and the kind of local situation.
Right.
So therefore,
No,
in
but
order to say,
because what also stands out is the kind of angst the locals had against the local BJP MP and the BJP MLA, Dr. Kagalkar. That's also a message. That's a very strong message saying that the cadre on ground and the people on ground are upset with some of the elected representatives, and that angst is purely because they are not standing up for the local cadre and the local people. This is also a strong message to those who believe that they are in comfortable positions and they are convenient. You can't forget ground realities. Ji.
Absolutely. Allow me a minute. In as much as the Karyakartas, the ground level workers of the party in Mangaluru, Putturu, wherever they are, they're showing their angst, their anger, their frustration, their helplessness. It's equally the fact that the top leadership would say, right from the party president to the chief minister downwards, are equally appalled or equally hurt and disturbed by this kind of a very, very drastic and a tragic event that's happened. No two words about it. Each one of them share the same intensity of the emotions of the disturbance that has hurt each one of the Karyakarta at the ground level. That said, the party being in the government, come what may, notwithstanding this hugely emotionally surcharged environment, has always taken a very high moralistic stand that we will go as per the due process of law. Be it in the case of Afzal Guru, be it in the case of Kassab, we went as per the due process of law. Same is going to happen in the case of Kanalayat murder, same is going to happen in the case of Shumaga, same is going to happen in the case today as well. There will be a bit of a delay and we would want to sort of really expedite it.
No,
really
due process of law is okay. The incident occurred last evening. The response from the MP has happened 1.5 days, more than 24 hours later. And the other aspect is the Karyakartas are saying that if you have to take the leadership, you have to take the ownership of protecting the Karyakartas. The BJYM, the sentiment on ground, the way there was a reaction, Mr. Kagalkar, is also a strong message that you cannot leave us hung there as fodder to be culled. You cannot allow a repeat of what happened in Bengal. For 48 hours after the Bengal results, top leadership and the leaders of the Bengal BJP and otherwise, they were all gone. And it was the cadre who were left at the mercy of those who went out there and looted, pummeled, plundered, raped, even the women card. We know what happened in Bengal. It is all there, documented. And now the Karyakartas are saying you can't vanish, and you can't just come here when you want votes, and you can't vanish and leave the cadre unprotected here to be culled and hacked to death. That seems to be a message that's coming.
Be it the party president Katilji or Sunil Kumarji or the local MLA, they were present today as much. Midst of the people, notwithstanding there was the angst of our own Karyakarta. That is, I think, speaks to the fact that the leaders haven't given up. They have the back of the Karyakarta. It's extremely unfortunate, and this is where a larger perspective in terms of an answer, a very, very hardened and iron rod kind of an answer that needs to come out, and that I'm sure I can say it with 110% confidence.
The family is on record, Dr. Kagalkar, the mother of Praveen, Praveen's mother is on record saying they have just left us. They have just left us unattended. They have just left us to fend for ourselves. Praveen had no personal enmity. He was committed to the country. He was committed to the party. That's what he was doing. He has small children. The father is saying, who will take care of these children? What is the assurance the government, the party is going to give? The mother is saying he was left high and dry. Nobody's come back. That's where the angst has come out.